Day by day, year after year, technology continues to invade and change our lives with thousands of new products. It is in our homes, the ways we move, our work, everything we see, and even sports, which sometimes can go unnoticed, but there it is, to improve and change our ways of playing and practicing. In this video we are going to talk about 3 of those technologies that we find in sports, their benefits, their problems, legal, ethical, operational aspects, and many other things. The first one is video recording equipment. It is perhaps that technology that has allowed us to see and know the sports as we do today. The possibility of taking what happens to the houses, cell phones, and computers of the fans, to observe lots of angles and views, to see repetitions, and even the possibility that video can be a fundamental weapon when it comes to making decisions when required at times, are just some of the advantages offered by the use of video in the sports field. This technology has an immense number of cameras, both photographic and recording, in addition to editing programs to be used in arbitration, and hundreds of other tools. The second technology that we will talk about today is sports apps, those tools that allow us to take the sports with us everywhere. Thanks to the rise of smartphones, together with the GPS service that have built in, are currently very fashionable mobile applications that allow us to monitor our physical activity. Our smartphone has become the best tool to quantify our daily exercise. Thanks to some very complete sports applications, we can easily know our heart rate, the kilometers that we have run, the calories we have burned in the gym, and other things. Playing sports is fashionable. We must take advantage of the fact that, today, our mobile devices allow us to monitor our progress. Finally, in the third place, we have the video games related to sports. Yes, video games have also become a tool close to the sports through different ways, such as Nintendo Wii, Wii Fit, or the Kinect function in the Xbox. Thanks to these technological devices, you can practice many sports from your room, just pretending to be an athlete and watching your movements reflected on the TV screen. You can play tennis, golf, boxing, do aerobics, bowling, archery, baseball, and even simulate some sports movements like football and basketball, among others. So far, what we have seen looks very good. What are some common problems of using these technologies? Let's find it. Some of the main problems when using technology in sports are high prices. For example, to buy a good camera kit, video editing programs, elements such as TVs for the reproduction of these videos, projectors, all this can incur high prices if you want to have the best and in large quantities, as it happens with video games and some applications. On the other hand, all of the technologies mentioned requires the use of some devices, cameras, console controls, cell phones, or bracelets. So when it comes to practicing sports or observing some sport, it must be taken into account that it is always necessary to have some of these devices to meet the objective. The technology does not finish to solve many problems that are still present in the sport practice, and although with the passage of the time they are even more sophisticated, they will never replace what the human being can achieve and to know exactly what each sportsman needs to advance in their sport practice. In terms of health practices and ethical standards, when using these technologies, we find that, for example, the use of videos should always be monitored so that it does not violate anyone's privacy, not to record prohibited images or prohibited places, and to use the way it has to be. For apps, it's important to keep in mind that, like many other apps on smartphones, this can become addictive, so people can increase their level of addiction to smartphones, and it is also important to know that although applications are usually good, it is also important to take recommendations from doctors, trainers, nutritionists, and others. Finally, video games do not replace sports practice in real scenarios, so people who play them should also perform their real sports practices if they want to improve or stay in shape. Finally, we can say that technology is good, and in sports it has created a great impact, a positive impact that allows us to see the sports in another way.